They expect you to panic. They expect you to flinch first, speak first, lose first, pathetic. Their confidence is built on your predictability. What they do not expect is someone who treats calm as a weapon, not a virtue, a tool, a blade. This is your curriculum in stillness as strategy. Turn unreadability into dominance. Turn uncertainty into leverage. Turn silence into intelligence. These lessons come from the battlefield of human nature and the hard currency of results, the only currency Machiavelli respected. You will learn to sit like stone while the world burns. You will let others sweat and confess. You will collect their contradictions. You will map their weaknesses. Then you will strike, not from passion but from calculation. Because mastery inside becomes conquest outside. Control your breath, control your posture, control their moves. When you are unshakable, you are inevitable. Law 1. Rule the silence. They insult you and you answer. They threaten you and you escalate. Pathetic. You dance to the tune of whoever dares pluck your nerves. Your reflexes are not your own. They're public property, owned by sharper players who've mapped your emotions like a chessboard. They bait, you bite. They prod, you flinch. Predictability is not just weakness, it's bondage. The instant you react on cue, you hand your enemy a script. And worse, you agree to play the fool in their theater. Machiavelli warned rulers, build your power on what you command: fear, order, silence. Never on the volatile applause of the crowd. Love, validation, sympathy. These are loans from the fickle. Control is never borrowed. It is forged, brick by brick, breath by breath. So here's the command. Don't take the bait. Picture this, a meeting. A colleague slices through your presentation with a smug jab. Interesting, but isn't this a little unrealistic? They expect the usual. Defensiveness, insecurity, emotional clutter. They want a show. Instead, you give them nothing. You pause. Let the silence thicken until it crushes the air. Then, calm and surgical, you say, "Good question. Let's walk through the data." The room pivots, their trap collapses. They look small. You look unshakable. The silence became your armor. Now imagine your phone buzzes. A passive-aggressive text. "Wow, thanks for ignoring me all day." The average soul would rush to explain, groveling for understanding. But you wait. 30 minutes, an hour. Then, just finished work. Meeting's still at 3. Cold, clear, unassailable. They wanted your emotional surrender. Instead, you gave them nothing, and nothing is terrifying, because nothing cannot be controlled. And in love, silence cuts deepest. Midnight, rage, accusations hurled like knives. They want the reaction, the storm, the surrender. But you breathe. You stand still in the hurricane and say, "We'll talk in the morning, when both of us are clear." That moment is not restraint, it's dominance. You refuse to fight on borrowed terms. You set the battlefield. Here's your maneuver. Pause. 3 breaths. Break the reflex. Ask yourself, who benefits if I react now? If the answer is them, stay silent. Then reframe. Answer with a question or with a neutral fact. Starve them of emotional currency. If reaction is a leash, silence is the blade that cuts it. And when you master silence, you master power itself. Because he who commands his impulses commands perception, and he who commands perception commands the world.
Hey guys, we're Strategy, based in Abu Dhabi. We use AI tools to make these concepts come to life, but it's our amazing team who goes deep, breaking down powerful philosophical ideas and showing how they really apply in everyday life. We hope you enjoyed today's content.
Law 2. Wield the silence as a blade. You think silence makes you look weak, so you scramble to fill the gaps with reassurance, explanations, excuses. Pathetic. You talk yourself into submission. Every extra word becomes a thread someone else can pull. Each justification is a self-inflicted wound. You are building your own cage, brick by babbling brick. Silence doesn't shrink you. Silence expands you. It forces others to face the emptiness they fear most, their own thoughts. When the air stills, weak men panic. They rush to fill the void, and in their rush, they reveal everything. They over-explain. They contradict themselves. They show you where the cracks are. Machiavelli said a ruler must be both lion and fox. The lion takes power through force. The fox keeps it through perception, by watching, by listening. Silence is the fox's dagger. It exposes the trap before you step into it. It turns conversation into reconnaissance. Picture this, a salary negotiation. The manager leans back smug and says, "This is the best we can offer." You don't flinch, you don't fill the void, you just look. Silent, patient. Each second stretches into eternity, and then crack. But there may be flexibility on bonuses or vacation days. You didn't plead, you didn't argue, you waited, and the world bent toward your will. Your silence made them pay tribute. Now in a meeting, someone pitches a flimsy idea. You tilt your head, you say nothing. The silence swells, unbearable. They keep talking, explaining, over-explaining, and with every word they hang themselves higher. You don't interrupt, you don't save them. You let them bleed credibility while you sit calm, collecting intelligence. Even in conflict, silence is lethal. A partner accuses, a friend provokes. They demand a reaction. Your guilt, your justification, your surrender. But you breathe, you nod once, and you give them nothing. They scramble to fill the quiet, exposing the insecurity behind their attack. Your calm becomes a mirror, and they can't stand what it shows them. So here's your maneuver. Ask open-ended questions, then shut your mouth. Keep your expression unreadable. Steady eyes, slight tilt, absolute control. Let their words spill freely. Let them feed you information disguised as honesty. Their verbosity becomes your archive, your dossier, your ammunition. Because silence never concedes ground, silence maps the battlefield, and when you master it, you stop reacting, you start hunting. Control your tongue and you control the tempo. Control the tempo and you control the room. Control the room and you control the world. Law 3, never drown in honey. Praise feels sweet, doesn't it? You bask in it. Replay it. Bathe in the warmth of approval like a child in sunlight. But that sweetness, it's a bribe. And every time you gulp it down, you tighten a leash around your own neck. Flattery is never free, it's currency. It buys your compliance, your comfort, your predictability. You start performing for applause instead of power. You become a puppet dancing for the sound of clapping hands. Praise doesn't elevate you, it boxes you in. It traps you in an image that isn't yours. You become a prisoner of expectations you didn't create, guarding boundaries you never set. You call it validation, but what it really is domestication. Machiavelli warned that rulers act only on what strengthens control, never on what pleases sentiment. Appearances are tools to be wielded, not chains to be worn. The wise ruler knows admiration is bait. Take it lightly or it devours you. So here's the command, sip their honey, never swallow. Picture this, you close a major deal at work. Your boss beams and announces to the room, "This project succeeded because of your hard work. You should take on more like this." Most people would glow. They'd nod, eager to please, volunteering for another round of servitude. But you smile once, a clean, precise thank you. Then you pivot. What's next on the agenda? The compliment lingers in the air, unanswered. They can't box you in. They can't draft you into their narrative. You acknowledged the praise, but you didn't submit to it, or consider friendships. Someone says, You're the only one I can really rely on. It sounds noble, flattering, but beneath the sweetness lies a chain. They're defining you as their savior, writing a role they'll expect you to play forever. You don't refuse the words, you just disarm them. I'm glad you feel supported. Then you move on. Acknowledged, neutral, untouchable. Even in love, praise can be venom. Everything about you is perfect. Don't ever change. It sounds divine, but it's a gilded cage. If you believe it, you'll stunt your own evolution just to stay lovable. The stronger move, a slight smile, a quiet thanks. Then silence. You remain free because your identity isn't up for negotiation. Here's your maneuver. When praised, say thank you. Then redirect the spotlight. Never mirror the compliment back as a promise. Save visible gratitude for moments you choose, when it serves your strategy, not their expectations. Because praise is a currency. Spend it only when it buys leverage, never when it buys obedience. Control how you receive approval, and you control how others attempt to manipulate you. And when you command that, you no longer live for applause. You make the crowd perform for you. Law 4. Command the tempo. Urgency is the oldest con in the arsenal of manipulators. When they want you blind, they make you rush. They shove false deadlines into your ribs. They hiss, decide now or lose everything. And like a panicked animal, you obey. In that frenzy, your thinking shrinks, your breath shortens, your voice climbs, and your judgment, once sharp, crumbles into dust. Understand this. Tempo is the rhythm of power. Whoever sets the pace rules the exchange. If you move to their beat, you are already conquered. If you dictate the rhythm, the game bends to you. Machiavelli wrote that fortune favors the bold, but only the chosen bold, not the provoked bold. The lion who charges at every noise dies early. The strategist who chooses when to strike reigns. So the command is clear. Make them rush. You do not. Picture this, you're buying a car. The salesman leans in with faux urgency. This deal expires today. If you don't sign now, someone else will take it. Your pulse spikes. That's the point. They want adrenaline to drown out reason. Instead, you breathe. You lean back. And with a calm that cuts deeper than a blade, you say, "Then they can have it. I'll decide tomorrow." The air changes, the mask slips. If the deal was true, you lose nothing. If it was a bluff, they'll chase you. Because indifference terrifies the desperate. Now, in business, an email drops. "We need your decision within the hour." Do they? Or are they testing how easily they can pull your strings? You answer with composure. "I'll review it after my meeting and revert tomorrow." That single sentence reclaims the throne. They scramble, their fake urgency deflates. Your slowness becomes dominance. Even in love and conflict, tempo decides who bleeds first. An argument erupts. They shout, "Speed, accelerate." You lower your tone. You slow your speech to half their pace. Each pause becomes a blade. They rage into exhaustion while you stand still, immovable, untouchable. The storm spends itself against your calm. Here's your maneuver. Slow down your words. Let silence punctuate your authority. Break big decisions into deliberate steps, and when cornered by false urgency, respond with the neutral power of patience. I'll decide after I've thought it through. Because speed is the enemy's camouflage, it clouds vision, fogs intent, and breeds mistakes. But composure is clarity. Clarity is control. And control is power. Master tempo, and you master the battlefield. Because he who dictates the rhythm dictates reality itself. Law 5. Judge by the ledger, people lie with sentences. They confess with habits. Words are the cheapest currency, tossed like confetti by the unaccountable. Patterns are the audit trail, the ledger of truth. And you take words at face value. You swallow apologies like candy. You treat promises as passports back into your trust. 1 sorry to erase 5 betrayals. 1 vow to outweigh 10 silent failures. Naive. That's why you get played. That's why you keep paying. Machiavelli warned, never trust public declarations of virtue. A man who advertises goodness will be gutted by those who don't. Power is judged by results, not rituals. By repeated behavior under pressure, not pious speeches in calm. So here's the command: watch the rhythm, not the noise. Picture this. A friend says, "Next time I'll be there." 3 times in a row they cancel. The pattern is louder than the plea. The truth isn't in their mouth, it's in their calendar. Business. A partner insists, "Trust me, we'll deliver on time." But invoices arrive late. Excuses repeat. Deadlines slide. The pattern is the confession. Stop weighing words. Start clocking performance. Love. They promise, "I'll change. I'll be better." Months pass. Same argument. Same silence after the damage. Same cycle, same rhythm, same character. Not the apology, the metronome of their behavior, defines them. Here's your maneuver. Keep a mental ledger. Names, dates, outcomes, who delivers, who no-shows, who betrays in new packaging. Before you grant trust, run a small test. 1 request, 1 commitment. See if they honor the small before you hand them the crown. And weight repeated actions 10 times heavier than any speech. Because character is not a sentence. Character is a pattern. Read the long file and you stop being surprised. Read it coldly and you stop being used. Master this discipline and your power multiplies. When you track patterns, you predict behavior. When you predict behavior, you set terms. When you set terms, you direct outcomes, teams, deals, relationships. Control your lens and you control the board. He who judges by the ledger doesn't react to people. He manages them. Law 6. Arm yourself with expectation. Most people pray for the best and die by the surprise. They live soft, worshipping comfort, blind to the storm forming over their own heads. Then, when fortune turns, they panic. They scramble, they beg, they bleed leverage, and call it tragedy. But tragedy isn't the blow itself, it's the shock. Expecting the worst does not make you paranoid. It makes you prepared. When chaos erupts, you are already calm. When betrayal strikes, you are already armed. While others perform emotion, you perform precision. Machiavelli warned, fortune is fickle. She tests every ruler through ruin. The wise man does not curse her. He builds policy that bends with her storms. He doesn't hope for mercy. He engineers resilience. When she strikes, he isn't broken, he simply shifts. So here's the command: pre-accept, then move. Picture this, you're negotiating a deal. Beforehand, you ask yourself, what if they pull out tomorrow? And you prepare: backup partner, secondary plan, fallback route. When the call comes, sorry, we can't proceed, you don't flinch. You nod once, thank them, pivot to plan B. They think they've trapped you, but they've only triggered your contingency drill. You aren't reacting, you're executing. Or in love. You give deeply, but quietly you ask yourself, what if this ends? You imagine the silence, the empty room, the goodbye. You breathe it in now while you're strong. So if the day comes and they leave, you don't collapse. You don't beg or rage. You stand. Because you've already buried this moment in your mind. They expected tears. You give composure. And nothing terrifies the emotional manipulator more than calm indifference. At work, it's the same warfare. You build a grand pitch, and before the curtain rises, you whisper, what if they hate it? Then you prepare alternate slides, an exit line, a composed tone. When rejection hits, you pivot mid-sentence. You glide through loss like it was scripted. They think you're lucky. You're not. You're pre-armed. Here's your maneuver. Run 3 worst-case drills every week. Relationships, projects, decisions. Ask, if this collapses, how do I stay standing? Then build redundancies, buffers, backups, escape hatches. And when the hit lands, never react instantly. Say calmly, "I'll respond once I have the facts." That single line buys you time, posture, and control, because the world respects the unshaken. When the worst arrives, you are not broken. You are expected. And he who expects every blow can never truly fall. He only shifts, calculates, and conquers anew. Law 7, hunt in silence. Ambition is power, raw, electric, divine. But the moment you announce it, you hand your enemies the blueprint to destroy you. Every word about your next move becomes intel. Every boast becomes a warning. Announcing desire is like shouting before a hunt. You startle the prey, alert the rivals, and end up starving. But the predator who stalks unseen, that predator feasts, the loud chase glory. The silent take it. Machiavelli praised rulers who paired cunning with force, those who moved without fanfare, who built power in the shadows, and only revealed their conquests once the crown was already welded to their heads. He knew outcomes matter more than declarations, posture less, strike more. So here's the command, hide the hunger. Picture this, you want a promotion. The herd starts talking, hinting, boasting, planting seeds of envy in every ear. They think exposure equals progress. You know better. You go quiet, calm, mild, unbothered. While they perform ambition, you build it. You take the projects no one dares touch. You align with power discreetly. You let results stack like loaded ammunition. Then, one quiet morning, the decision comes down. Your name is already inked. No speeches, no campaigning, just inevitability. Your silence made the strike clean. Business is no different. You want the property, the deal, the prize. If they smell hunger, the price doubles. So you play cold. You say, we're exploring options. You move like a man with time to burn. Behind that composure, lawyers, financing, alternate exits, all preloaded. Then, at the perfect second, you strike. Papers signed, rivals stunned. They realized too late that you were starving for this, and they fed you the discount. Even in creation, in art, love, ambition, premature exposure is poison. You speak your dream aloud and parasites appear. The jealous, the insecure, the well-meaning saboteurs. They question, they mock, they drain momentum drop by drop. So you keep it buried. You smile lightly when asked, and you work like a ghost with blood in his teeth. Until one day your dream appears, not as talk, but as fact. No one can fight a finished product. Reality has no rivals. Here's your maneuver. Keep your public face neutral, modest privately. Move with cold aggression, sign contracts, forge alliances, lay groundwork that cannot be undone. Reveal nothing until revelation itself secures the win. Because ambition that shouts is hunted. Ambition that whispers feeds on the world. Control your silence, and you control surprise. Control surprise, and you control timing. Control timing, and you rule outcomes. Calmness is not pacifism, it's control, an economy of emotional effort. Machiavelli taught rulers to be practical, fierce, adaptable. Today that means unreadability, patience, and ruthless method. Silence becomes your data. Delay becomes your leverage. Composure becomes a force field that reorganizes everyone around you. Train these techniques as a general trains maneuvers, repeatedly, deliberately, coldly, until your calm is not the absence of reaction, but the quiet architecture of power.
Thanks for spending time with us. If this sparked a new way of thinking, hit like and subscribe to keep the ideas flowing. And don't forget, check the description for the links to the original books and resources we used today. We'll see you in the next one.